Hello and welcome to a very serious issue of Simple Vids. We must issue an apology. We said we'd come back, we didn't know how regularly, but this is the third video in 5 months. Not a very good average. I think what's 1.6 videos per month repeating? Don't like that. So just a miniature catch up of what I've been doing. Let's see. The Full Life of a Robot Part 3, Stainless Steel Souls, is currently in beta writing, getting edited. Then I'll need people to read it and see if it's good or bad or terrible. And at the same time, I can say I've extended and capped the series at only 7 books. That's that. Second, I've changed how I'm reading. I used to be one a month, definitely, to get through things, and that was to get me back into reading. Now I am back into reading. I find it too stifling. I read a book for an emotion, for a feeling, for a sensation. I can't do that anymore. So I have just finished a book today, which I didn't plan to start about 3 or 4 days ago. It's a Michael Moorcock, so fast and fun. The current book I'm reading officially is Dracula by Bram Stoker. He is a Irish writer, so Dracula's Irish, but he was inspired by French stories, so Dracula's French. Anyway, it's very good. It starts off, one chapter, there's a guy, his name's Jonathan. Next chapter, there's Dracula, and he's doing all the creepy, spooky things and trying to, trying not to eat Jonathan, as he, withholds his desires for human flesh and blood and stuff like that. But sets up things in the background. We get through about 4 chapters, and then Jonathan is about to confront him or try to escape because he's absolutely stuck. And then it changes to Mina, which is his partner, and her letters that she's been getting in the past couple of months, which is a great hang because I want to know what happens to him, and I don't know this story, and I've never watched the movie, so I don't actually know. But it is ye olde story, the same style as Frankenstein was. Frankenstein took about 6 or 7 chapters to even get to Dr. Frankenstein and then his monster, because it opens and ends with like tiny vignettes of another person who finds them in the middle of their sort of epic battle at the very end of their story. So this got into it very quickly. I was worried it was going to be older and slower, and it is written in that language, but it takes about 1 second to get into the action, and then it's very good. Still, it's heavier. It's a bit thick as a soup. So I have gone to other stories. Next I will read by Michael Moorcock, Sword and Sorcery. That's Elric on the front cover. He's got a big, lovely sword called Stormbringer. It will stab you, it will drink your soul and give your energy to whoever's holding it, which in this case is Elric. On his own, Elric is a pasty white albino, not like me, but without drugs or sustenance or blood or souls or wine or something to keep him going. He would perish within a week on his own. So it's funny because the sword leans on him because he's strong enough to wield it, but he leans on the sword because he's nothing without it. So that's a fantastic story there. And this one is the Weird of the White Wolf. In this case, weird sort of means the story or the dramatic retelling. This was later rewritten into a different one. So this is one of his books I haven't written, even though I've read everything else in the series. Quite often people who wrote Sword and Sorcery would release them serially, so bit by bit in different magazines over months, then collect all that and release that again as a story. In this case, Weird of the White Wolf got turned into another story or mushed into another one, so I'm not sure where this is. It's possible I start reading it and I'm like, oh, I have read this before, but not this cover. And I'd like to say thank you to G, you know who you are, for lending me all of these. That's for fun. So Dracula's for academic reading. The Weird of the White Wolf is for just fun and bloodletting and just, fun, enjoyable fantasy. This was another one given to me by G. CJ Scherer, who I've never heard of before. Am I saying that properly? Scherer? Cherry. Scherer. Anyway. There we can see a human, and he's surrounded by cats. This is fantastic because it's a fantasy book set in space, so science fantasy technically. But we get the cat's story, and they've found this hairless, weird, blonde, muscular ape thing, and it seems to be intelligent. It's not stupid and dumb. So a human is an alien here, and all the other monsters are the normal, everyday humans, characters. So I like that for its different point of view. And then what's it called? The Pride of something? The Pride of Chanur, or Chanur, I'm not sure how to say that either. But this is more of an investigative, like, do I like it, do I not? Plus, it's always good to try out new authors you don't know. I've never heard of CJ Cherry, and I guess I won't ever read anything else by them, but no. I've read the first 1 or 2 chapters, and very quickly we find out who the cat people are, what their hopes are, and that they found this hairless, weird alien, and they're trying to figure out whose it is and politics. So straight away, they've given us a good chunk into the world, how it works, how it operates, what's the politics, who's the main game players, and of course that there is a stinky dirty human there, which shouldn't be anywhere. So a good mystery from an outside point of view of what it would be like to find the human as an alien. So I like that. That's good. And then last but not least, I jokingly said Lord of the Rings was not long enough, and then I started reading The Eye of the World. I have been reading this for 2 years. You can see where my bookmark is. I'm only about there. I could sit down and read this, but it's honestly, let's see, another page count for anyone keeping track at home. I've read 710 pages of it, and it still goes to, okay, well, 790 pages. So I'm actually really close to the end. But it's been long. This was always my book on the side. So whatever my main book was that I was supposed to be reading every single month, I could just always pick this up if I wanted a different flavor. Clearly that didn't work because now my flavor is one, two, three, four books at once. And then if I feel like it, I'll start another book. But these four should have me happy for the moment. Other than that, you can pre-order The Full Life of a Robot Part 3. Just click the link down below. It's not out until October, so still got a while. Thank you to everybody who has already pre-ordered. And if you'd like to beta read for me, then I should put links down the bottom as well. You'll have to go to my Facebook and contact me that way. But otherwise, please like the video. Please subscribe. Tell your friends. I'm sorry that there's only been 3 videos so far this year, but I've also... Oh, I forgot the other half. That's all reading and writing. On the other half, I went on a application frenzy last week and applied for 20 jobs, and I've got 3 interviews this week. I had one today. I've got another one Friday. I think that's at Battery World or something or other. And then I've also got one possible one on a construction site. So being so active lately, I'm obviously inspired to go and do another one of these videos and apologize profusely to everyone out there who was hanging on, or anyone who's like given up. Don't give up. It just means I'll take longer between them all. Allow me that. I'm trying to get things, everybody's trying to get their life more like this and less like this. Can we blur that out? I don't think anyone will appreciate that. Cool. Yeah, that's what I had. Please. Yeah. All right. Thank you and have a nice day.